Hi, Trapper Jack here. Just want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving week. No episode this week. We will come back full bore. Yes, I am a full bore. Next week, I'll be boring you fully. But we're going to start publishing on Thursdays. Why Thursdays? Because, and I hope that explains it, it'll just work. I think schedules will work out a little bit better, and it'll actually make a better podcast. So we're going to start publishing Thursdays beginning next week. And we just hope this is a great Thanksgiving week for you. I know we have a lot of listeners outside the U.S., so in case you don't know what a Thanksgiving, you probably have your own Thanksgiving, I'm assuming. I think every country pretty much has some version of Thanksgiving where you just sit around and eat. It's a crazy holiday, isn't it? It's nuts. You cook all day, and then during a 15-minute halftime of a football game you don't really care about unless you live in Dallas or Detroit, you just eat a lot of food, and you stuff it in there, and you wear fat pants for the day. You give thanks for elastic waistbands, and you set limits for yourself. No going back for 19ths. I mean, you have certain limits you have set for yourself, and you're still putting those pearl olives on your fingers because it's still funny, just like when you were a kid. And you eat that green bean casserole thing, whatever that is, and turkey and gravy becomes a beverage, and it's crazy. It's a crazy day. And then 2 or 3 days later, you're hungry again. So you got all that. So anyway, we hope it's a great Thanksgiving week for you, all because of the pilgrims. Yeah, it's food, football, and a little memory of pilgrims. And we all have the same picture of the pilgrim, the guy with the hat and with a buckle. Hats had buckles, pants buckles, shoes had buckles. What's with the buckles? Just the opposite of now. Now we wear fat clothes. Then they cinched up everything. They ate so much food their heads would explode. So they had to cinch them down with buckles, and their feet were exploding. So buckles on everything. Not like now. Let it all out, man. Let it all out. Yeah. Anyway, that's what they would do. Pilgrims. Funny people. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I want to say thank you for however God created the path for you to find the podcast. She just got a great email from a new listener, Heather. Hi, Heather. She found it because around Halloween, she was listening to a radio show in her town that had to do with ghosts. So she thought, a podcast about ghosts. So she goes looking on her phone for a podcast about ghosts, and system error comes up. Now, thinking like we do here at Touched by Heaven, that means something. She took that as, God doesn't want me doing ghost stories. He wants me doing something else. So she thinks about it, and she puts into a podcast search, Encounters with Angels, and we popped up first. That's the way it works. And so welcome, Heather, and however all listeners got here, there was whatever path that was created for you. We thank you for subscribing to the podcast. That actually helps others also have it come up in a search. We thank you for rating and reviewing. That plays its role in people finding us. So thank you to those of you who are supporting us financially through patreon.com. May it be returned to you 100 times and more back to you. We thank you for that. We thank God for these wonderful stories that help fortify our faith, these wonderful collisions of heaven and earth. And most of all, I want to thank you who are sharing your stories. You're the fuel. Without you, there's no podcast. Got to have the stories, right? So I thank you for sharing your story. And if you've got one that you've been kind of holding on to, please share. Please share. It fortifies the faith of everybody else that we have a living God, don't we? We certainly have a living God who's out there every day shooting that flare gun saying, did you see that? Did you see what I just did there? Did you see me there? And those encounters, those touched by heaven moments, those collisions of heaven and earth are an invitation to a relationship. That's what this is all about. It's about it's not just, God, showing off, going, ain't I cool? Looky there. Does he wear fat pants? I mean, who knows? Just a thought. So he wears whatever he wants to. He's a fashion statement. But he's not showing off. They're invitations. This is how God speaks to us. These invitations to have a relationship, that he's here right now, right here, right now with you, right where you are right now, sitting, standing, squatting, whatever it is you're doing right now. He's with you right now. And he wants a relationship, a deeper, ongoing relationship. And that's what these encounters just kind of wake us up to the fact, he is here. He is here. So thank you for sharing your story. Go to touchedbyheaven.net and contact me there, and I'll get in touch with you, and away we'll go. Touched touchedbyheaven.net, touchedbyheaven.net. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great week, and I'll see you next week in whatever your schedule is. I know you don't always listen exactly when we publish, but just to let you know that publishing day now turns to Thursday, okay? Why? Because. All right, I'll see you then, whenever then is for you. Here at Touched by Heaven, everyday encounters with God. I'm Trapper Jack.